All right, welcome to another DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Detzel, and today's special guest is Juliette. Juliette, how are you?
Hey Chris, I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And it's funny, the first time I met you, obviously it was with Josh, but you guys were at some 5K, and yeah, you were at a 5K, and I saw it, you won it. And I was like, who's this woman? And then over the last several months, I would say a year maybe, you've really started to accomplish a lot of different things. And today we'll talk a little bit about your journey, why you got into running and all that kind of stuff. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. So before I kick it off, I am going to say that Juliet is 25 years old and she just ran her very first marathon at CIM at a 3:01:52 or something like that. 30,
Just under
oh,
3
th
down.
all right, 3:01:57. Pretty remarkable. And so when I saw that, I was like, I got to get her on the podcast. And so appreciate you coming on. Let's start talking a little bit about you. Where did your journey start? Like, what did you do in high school, college? I don't know. Let's start there.
Yeah, I played lacrosse. I mean, I did do cross country. I think I started when I was in first grade. My elementary
First
school
grade.
had a team that you couldn't start until you were in second grade, but I begged the coach, let me play or let me run. I'll just run against the second graders in the competitions, and they let me run. And so I
Wow.
ran from second grade to eighth grade, and I actually won our county finals for cross country for women, which was awesome. But I started playing lacrosse when I was 9. And when I went to college or went to high school, and I decided I'll just focus on that. Played varsity lacrosse all 4 years in high school. And then during my bachelor's, I went to Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo. I played club lacrosse there, which is one of the best clubs on the West Coast, if not in the country. It's an amazing lacrosse club program. And then I did my master's at SMU, which is what brought me to Dallas, and played another season there.
I mean, there's a lot of running in lacrosse, so
So I was midfield. I was usually one of the fittest running wise on the team. We had all sorts of running tests that we did as a team, endurance things, and I was always the first or second one done.
always kicking everybody's ass in the running part
Always
of it.
loving. I love that part. I loved running and running circles around everybody on the field.
How'd you guys do in lacrosse? Like when you did the club stuff?
I mean, it was fun. It was pretty low
Hmm.
intensity. I mean, it was one practice a week.
Oh, okay.
Once I got to college and games every other weekend, it was pretty casual. High school, I played for my high school, and then I played club outside of high school season, so I was playing year round.
Okay.
Pretty much from when I was in middle school through high school, I was playing year round lacrosse. I was traveling. I lived in California. I was traveling to the East Coast to play. I was playing all over the country. It was really fun. I loved it.
You
I
must have
missed
been
I
really good in high school.
Yes, I've been playing with a adult women's league in Dallas, which has been really fun.
Wow, I didn't even know they had lacrosse here in Dallas.
There's an adult league. It's really fun. In the summer, there's all these girls that come home for the summer that are playing D1. So playing against some really, really fantastic players. I'm very out of it. I haven't, played competitively in a while, but it's really fun to play alongside them.
Sure, it's fair, I'll say easy, but you pick it up at least
Yeah,
kind of what to do and give yourself a little bit of time and you'll be right back in it, you know? I
yeah,
mean, I assume
it
so.
comes back.
Yeah. So when you came to SMU, I mean, obviously there's not a lot of cross here. So what'd you
No.
do? Like when
Um,
you,
I didn't do much. Like when I moved to Dallas to do this program, I didn't know anybody in the whole
Hmm.
state of Texas. When I moved, I had, accepted that I was going to start this program before I had ever been to Dallas.
Oh, well,
Uh, and so I moved here. I didn't know anybody. I made some friends in my program who are still close friends today. But the program it was 9 months. It was very, very difficult. It was a
yeah.
hard 9 months. So I was not really working out at all. The team was way more casual than Cal Poly, and it was just one season. It was a very short season. One practice, I think maybe we played 5 or 6 games, but I was pretty out of shape after I graduated from my master's.
I'm
And that was
sure if,
yeah. That was in 2022 that I graduated, and then I didn't really start running until beginning of 2023.
okay, and
So
then
there's
what'd you start running and what got you into it?
uh,
Have you ever done like before that, like a 5K or something before or
never,
never? Okay.
never.
All
So
right.
I signed up. I signed up for a half in May of 2023.
Just to sign up, like you never did anything before.
No.
Why'd you do
Uh,
that? Like, what was?
well,
I
I
was
was at this
curious.
point where I'm very competitive and I really
Obviously.
missed that
Okay.
that I had from lacrosse and from, playing team sports. And I'd been working for a while in like my first, full-time corporate job. I was fully remote, so
Mm,
I wasn't meeting a lot of people. I didn't really have a lot going on. I really just needed something to do. So
that's
started
awesome.
kind of casually running, signed up for this half. It was around the time of my birthday, so I was like, this will be kind of a good birthday present to myself. Get myself a little bit back in shape,
Yeah.
kind of take care of myself a little bit more. I've been working really hard and outside of work, just hanging out with friends and drinking and doing stupid
Mm.
stuff. So let's have a better goal in mind.
And that makes sense. And did
Mhm.
you train for this half, or what'd you do as you went into it? What was your
Um,
mindset?
kind of.
Yeah.
I was running like 3 to 7 miles at a time. I did one long run where I got to 10 miles, but my goal really was just to finish the
Sure.
race. I think I
Mm.
had my eye on around a 2 hour goal. I ran a 2:07 and
Okay.
it was hard. It was horrible. But I got home and I ended up signing up for a trail race later that year. I was
Yeah.
like, let's do something
Something
harder.
different.
And
Yeah.
they
Harder.
call it a marathon, so a trail marathon, but the course
Yeah.
itself is only 23 or 24 miles. So in my mind, that's why, CIM really was my marathon debut. The trail race it was 26 people that finished this race. It was very small, not in the same league, but after the half, I just wanted to keep going,
Yeah.
have another goal, have something new to chase down after that.
Trail races are tough sometimes. I mean, depending on the terrain. I mean,
Mhm.
where was your trail race at?
It was in Calistoga, outside of
Okay.
Napa. It was
Got it.
4,600 feet elevation gain over it. It was brutal.
Were you ready for it? I'm sure you never ran anything like that before, right?
No. And I really didn't. I trained kind of the same way I did for the half, 3 to 7 miles at a time. I was running 10 to 25 miles a week.
Okay.
I don't know if you can call that training at all. I was running.
Yeah.
We could call it that. I was running
I
leading
mean,
up to
to you it was a lot, I'm sure.
it.
At that time, it's like,
At the time,
'cause-
I was like, I don't know if I could ever run any more miles than
yeah.
25 miles a week. It felt like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, when you first get into running, especially these longer distance, whether it's half marathon or especially marathon, you don't know what to do. Like 100% of the people that get on this podcast and start their journeys, they have no idea. They just sometimes they'll pick up a training plan and you know look on the internet and just try some
Mhm.
of that, or maybe
Yeah.
they'll say, oh, maybe I just sign up for a marathon, like and see
Mhm.
what happens.
But I guess as long as you start somewhere, the fact that you started.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I think to me the lesson is that you just learn as you go.
Mhm.
I mean, nothing's perfect, but we'll talk about your marathon in a little bit. Your first kind of marathon that you raced and got serious about,
Mhm.
really. I mean, and how serious your training was. I mean, I know that you were doing some miles there. So, but before we do, let's talk about some of the fun races you did and won.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And it's been a good year. So that 2023 year, I did those two races and kind of fell apart. Like I felt horrible after the half. I felt horrible
Mm,
after the trail race.
most
And
people do.
I was thinking, I'm never gonna do a marathon. Like after I did
Yeah,
that trail race, my mindset was I am never doing a marathon. The training, which I didn't really even do, was hard, and I felt horrible. I wasn't looking back. I know I wasn't fueling. I wasn't doing any strength training. I wasn't taking care of myself
yeah,
to be able to reach any sort of goals. But in 2024, I had. I'll start with Christmas 2023. My mom got me a pair of Vaporflies.
nice.
And so very nice. And so 2024, I essentially did every single one of my runs in these shoes because I had
Cool.
pretty much only been running slow miles.
Yeah,
And now I'm like, okay, let's do these fast miles. Let's start doing some faster. They weren't workouts. I was pretty much just doing every mile I was running fast. Fast was the only speed that I had. And so I started kind of wanting to do more halves because I felt like that was fun. I made a sub 140 goal for myself. And so that's
sweet.
kind of when I started, okay, maybe let's like start training and maybe try and do some things right. But I ended up running a 142 in April 2024, and
Were
then
you
I
mad
ran.
about that?
I had taken 25 minutes off my half
Yeah,
from
I
a
know,
year
but
before, so I was still pretty happy with that. But I still was training the same 10 to 25 miles a week, but
yeah.
I had fast shoes. That was it. That was really the only difference. I ran another half in November and I ran another 142. Um, so I mean, thinking about that being just over a year ago is insane. That
Not that long ago, to be
how
honest,
much
but yeah,
progress I've made since then. But after
yeah.
that, I was like, okay, something's got to change. So I made a plan to start running like some more 30-plus mile weeks. I
Hmm,
actually did some research and figured out what a track workout was, what a threshold workout was, kind of how to structure a week to continue to get more fit and to get faster.
interesting.
And so December of
Very,
20,
very focused. Like,
very
when you
focused.
put your mind to something, it sounds like you're like, okay, I gotta, I'm trying to hit under 140 and I can't do it twice in a row. There's something wrong.
Yeah. I'm like
You
at
know,
this point, I mean, that was another from April to November, I made zero progress essentially. And I was like, that's not me. That's
sometimes
not me.
that's running, but yeah,
I was like, I put my mind to something though. I usually can at least make a little bit of progress, but I made no progress. That was
zero. Yeah.
frustrating. I was like, back to the drawing board. Let's
Hmm.
actually try and do something right. So end of December, started formulating this plan, signed up for a bunch of races in the beginning of 2025. I was like, maybe if I just race more,
Like
I'll learn
5Ks and stuff. Is that what you're talking about? Or
5Ks, 10Ks, halves.
okay, so you didn't have to. Okay.
Signed up for everything. And so Christmas 2024, my mom got me a pair of Alpha Flies.
Again,
Uh, I have the best mom ever. And so started with a new pair of carbon shoes for 2025. And that's what you were saying when I started to do a lot better. I think that we met at Forum Falls Fitness 5K.
yeah, that's right.
Um, but I raced in January. I raced the Hotcake Hustle. It's up here in Plano at Oak Point, solely because Josh has these. He's won age group awards at that race a handful of times, and they're these little miniature syrups. Which, if you talked to me in December or January this last year, you know that that is all I could talk about. I wanted one of those syrups.
Oh,
That
wow.
was all I was training for. I wanted one of these little syrup things. I thought it was cute. I thought it was a cute award to get, and I wanted one.
I love
So
it.
I ran the Hotcake Hustle 10K. I ran a 41-minute 10K. They had postponed it
Wow.
due to snow, so it was a pretty small race, and I won first place female, thankfully, because they were only doing the baby syrups for overall. So
Wow.
I was very happy. I got my syrup. I got a huge PR. And I was like, okay, this is a very good start to the year. 2 weeks later, I ran the
Wait, wait,
two
wait,
cold.
wait, just a sec. Did you know that the 41 minutes was like super fast for 10K, or did you have any idea how fast that
I
was?
didn't. I didn't. I think that my PR then, before then, was like 46, maybe
Yeah.
47. So I knew that I PR'd and I ran fast. Like it felt really hard, but it was a fantastic time. I was very happy with it.
What kind of tell me about training for that? Like, did you start training then? Because you
Not
mentioned that.
completely.
Okay,
So
not
I
yet.
I had started running more consistently. That's really the only thing that
Okay.
changed was that I was running just more days of the week. I think before I was really only running maybe 4 days a week. And I was getting now up to 5 or 6 days a week. But now that I was running more consistently, I was consistently injured.
Yeah.
Something hurt always, pretty much all the time. And so it was after that race that I started kind of having some issues with my calf. But I had signed up for all of these races and I do not back out. So 2 weeks after Hotcake Hustle, I did the too cold to hold half.
Okay.
My next shot at that sub 140, and I ran a 135. So I
Yeah.
took 8 minutes off of the previous PR, and I was the third overall female. I was like, this is awesome. I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm getting faster. The plan is working.
And you're kicking butt. Yeah.
I celebrated by taking 2 weeks off of running. I gave myself a break, was hoping that my calf situation would kind of help itself. And 2 weeks after that, ran the Forum Falls Fitness 5K. That was my first overall win in a 5K. Uh,
Yeah.
And that's where we met earlier this year in February. And after that, it was just race on race on race. I ran Ks halves. That April, I ran Big Star half, and I took another 5 minutes off. I ran a 129 and change,
Dang.
and I was like, okay, this is working.
Yeah.
But my calf at this point was really starting to cause me some trouble. But after that 129, I had all this confidence and I was doing really well in these races and actually making progress. And I was like, maybe I'll sign up for a bigger race. Kind of started thinking about it then. My grandpa and I text every day, and he throughout
Nice.
this year has been my biggest supporter, asking for pictures and videos of every race and wanting to know
I
how I
love it.
did, giving me the most compliments after everything. And he's like, if you do a big race, I'll come. Like I'll come watch if you do a big one.
Nice.
And so when I was thinking about a race to do, I immediately thought of CIM. He lives up there in Northern California, where I'm from. So I was like, he'll get to see it. He won't have to
Yeah.
travel, and he'll get to
Yeah.
see it. And so that's why I picked CIM. I did not know anything about the race. I didn't know that it was a fast course, that it was,
You didn't
you know,
really, did you have any
very,
friends that you were starting to run with at all yet, or?
yeah. So I started running with White Rock. Let's see, it was 2023.
Yeah.
Um, the night before the KD 5K. I had signed up for the KD
Okay.
5K because I had seen it the last couple years and I was like, that looks really fun. I want to do that. But I didn't know anybody that ran. And
Uh,
I was kind of embarrassed to show up to this race alone. So I found White Rock on Facebook, went to the Wednesday night social run, met
White Rock
Josh.
Running Co-op. Yeah.
Yes, White Rock Running Co-op, the 7 p.m. Wednesday night run at Lake House. We're there every week. And so once I went to that, pretty much every single Wednesday I was at that run and then running 6 or 7 miles on Saturdays with the Saturday group.
Is
Um,
that where you met Josh? Out
mhm,
of curiosity, I mean,
yes.
so I
Yeah,
met my wife through Dallas Running Club. So,
uh,
eventually we, got married and stuff, but, I like a little love story, when it
we,
comes to running. It's kind of cool. So
yeah, we
anyways,
just moved together. Yeah, we've been together for 2 years now. So went
it's
from
pretty
the
cool.
Wednesday night run to now.
Went to the Wednesday night running to dating, or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So you start running with kind of a community in White Rock Running Co-op, and tell me about this cab. Let's go all the way back up to that. What was going on? Because to me, I'm thinking maybe she's those shoes. You wearing the shoes too much, maybe.
By this year, I had backed off on wearing the carbons all the time. I had
Smart.
figured out a shoe rotation, figured out
Mm.
more of a plan. But I had been training, especially through 2024, which kind of led to problems everywhere. I had been running a lot with Josh. And
Yeah.
if you don't know, Josh's training plan is run every mile as fast as you can. There's no easy runs. It's
He's kind of
just
always been like that.
he's got one speed, it's fast. And I was running with him a lot. And so I was running fast with him. I wasn't really running many easy miles, which is how I ended up in this
Yeah.
situation. I didn't understand easy miles. I didn't know how to pace myself.
I mean, look, Josh has been doing this for years, and he should know, but
He,
he just doesn't care.
no, he's
Like,
just fast anyways.
yeah. But I remember him running a marathon once. I've only seen him run a marathon once, or half marathon, never a
Yeah, he
marathon.
never run a marathon.
No.
He
And I'm
never.
like,
Oh,
but he was always fast. I remember 5Ks. We'd be running, this is years ago, and we'd be running the 5K, and like I would pass him, and he goes, "Well, Chris, if you see me at the end, you're just going to get your ass kicked because I'm just going to sprint no matter what."
yep.
And I don't, and he did. He beat me at the end. So,
Hmm.
but anyways, I
No,
digress. All right.
it's been a goal of mine since we started dating. I've been trying to pick off his PRs, and so I've been chasing his 5K PR, and it was 1908 or oh
Yeah, you're
seven.
going to get it. You're going to get it.
This turkey trot this year, I ran a
Oh,
1845 the week
you
before
did?
the
You already got it.
And
Oh,
so
well,
I thought it would take a lot longer. So now I'm like, maybe you need to unretire from running and take it back because I know
all
he
right.
could.
So you're kind of, your grandpa said he would come to one of your races if you decide to pick CIM. Let's talk about that, and let's talk a little bit about how you started training for it. Where'd you get, did you run with anybody? Did you, what did your training plan look like? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I decided on a 20-week training plan, which at
Mm,
this point, the longest training plan that I had even formulated was 4 weeks. It was for Big Star. I did a 4 weeks of consistent running to run that 129. And so I was like, 20 weeks, I can probably make a lot more progress and get into a
yeah.
habit and get more consistent because I still was struggling with consistency. And so the basis of my plan I created using ChatGPT.
Okay. Great.
I pulled my paces using the VDOT calculator, told it to use kind of the Jack Daniels method formula, track
Mhm.
workout, threshold workout, long run, a rest day, and then all the other days, easy miles, kind of set it up the structure that I had been using before. Used that as a basis and then kind of tweaked it from there based on what felt comfortable. But the paces, this was the first plan that I actually had paces in mind for any of my workouts. And I think that made a very big difference. But I mostly ran my workouts alone until the last 4, 6 weeks. I had gotten connected with Kendall Rose, who you
Yeah,
interviewed a couple months ago, I think.
I did. Yeah. She was great.
She's fantastic and did make that sub 3 goal that you were interviewing her about
She
at
did. She
CIM.
did.
She's so fast. I got connected with her. She's one of the CIM ambassadors. And so we had kind of been texting throughout the training block. I had asked her all of my questions as a first time marathon runner. This and this and this. I had a million questions about things. And I was coming up on a 20-mile run and didn't have
Mm,
anyone to run with. I'd been able to kind of piece together some people to run my long runs with, even just like a
yeah.
part of it. But that 20 miles, I didn't have anybody to run with, and I really hadn't run that far. So I texted, I was like, any chance you're running your 20-mile long run tomorrow? And she was like, yeah, and sent me a screenshot of her workout. And I was like, whoa, that looks crazy.
Hmm.
But okay, I'll come and try and hang on, and maybe I can run this one with you, or at least I'll have someone to run half my, long run with or something if I
Yeah.
fall out the workout. But I ran the whole workout with her, and I was like, that was really fun. Shout out Ruth for coach. She made some really awesome workouts, and I pretty much ran every long run with Kendall for the rest of the training block.
Okay.
Use
Well,
you know using her, poaching her workouts, which was fantastic. I did not at this point know how to create a long run workout. It's not something I had any experience in. I hadn't really seen it. I didn't really know how to research it or create one.
yeah.
So being able to tap into, especially for the 20, we did 21, 22, for all
That's
of
great.
those runs to be able to have some help was game changer. And just like pacing
I'm
each
sure
other
of it.
for it was huge.
How did you find out about her? Like, how'd you meet her?
Yeah, so at I think it was the Big Run 5K. I think that was in
Mhm.
April this year. I had just signed up for CIM, and I was talking to a friend there, mutual friend. I said, "Oh yeah, I just signed up for CIM," and he said, "Oh, my friend Kendall is one of the ambassadors. Let me connect you guys." And he was the middleman who
Wow.
connected us.
Isn't that funny? There's a connection, it just happened.
That's just the
So what?
running community in DFW. Everyone knows someone.
Exactly. I
Mm.
feel like I know everyone now. Like
I'm sure you really do.
I'm getting there. It's still like Fort Worth. I don't know a lot of them. I mean, I know some of them, but there's a lot of really fast folks in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
When you look at like, what'd you do for nutrition? Did you think about that during your long runs and stuff?
I
I'm sure you
was
had to start thinking about it.
I was starting to. I was using gels. It was very trial and error.
Yeah, of
Tried a
course.
few different ones. I think I ended up racing with the Morton gels. Those were the easiest
Yeah,
for me. I was only one or two of my long runs was I able to actually consume the amount of gels that I wanted to be able to consume time wise during the
yeah.
race. So that was a pain point for me. Definitely something I will continue to grow on.
That's a journey as well. I
Mhm.
mean, I think as you kind of continue to do it, it's going to change. Like you'll think
Yeah.
you got it down, and then you don't.
Um,
Like so, it's always kind of an adjusting period. Any kind of quick hit stories before, like between that training block, maybe with Kendall or somebody else that was kind of fun.
we had I mean, all of our long runs were fun. And like by the end, our last long run, our peak week, we did a 22-mile
Hmm.
run with a pretty insane workout in it. She had sent it to me. I was like, I really don't know if this is gonna happen. We had 8 miles at a sub-marathon pace, or maybe that was
Wow.
Kendall's marathon pace at the
Hmm.
end, and then a 3 mile cool down after that. But those 8 miles were just, by the fourth mile of it, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. What am
It's
I doing
brutal.
here? I have no business running this pace at the end of a 22-mile workout. And it was me, Kendall, Monty Alavi,
Hmm.
and Adrian Acevedo were doing that run together. And so we were like, okay, there's four of us, and it's an 8 mile section. Let's take turns pacing it. So we'll each pace 2 miles of it. The rest can just not look at their watch and just fall in the line and pace, and just
Yeah.
the one person up front paces. We did a little diamond formation and ran it like that. And so I think Monty paced the first two, Kendall paced the next two. Adrian started pacing the third two. He did not run CIM. Monty and Kendall and I were all planning on running CIM. I
Yeah.
know Monty ended up running Dallas instead. He deferred CIM, but Adrian ended up falling off in the middle of his two that he was supposed to pace. So I was like,
Hmm.
okay, I guess mine, because I was going to pace the last two. Mine start now, and let's do it. And I was able to lock in and like hit a gear that I didn't know that I had.
Mm.
Uh, and by the end of that, I mean, I was supposed to be pacing them, and I ended up going way faster than we needed to by the end of it, because I was just feeling so good and on fire, and it was our last really long run, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is awesome. I feel amazing. Like, this block is over. Like, this is like the culmination. I was just so excited. And so finishing that, I felt so good. And Kendall had given me some confidence. She was like, well, maybe you can run a sub 3.
Yeah.
That's when I started, okay, I'll make a pace plan for sub 3. Sure,
Yeah.
I guess. Might as well. But that was a really good workout. And there was a few others in there where I found a new part of myself, a new gear that I was able to hit that I never thought possible.
I mean, you think about this, like before, and I'm sure you already have, but when I think about your story already, you're a brand new runner, and you learned a ton during this, and you're now different runner now than you were back in April, May, June, July, August. You know what I mean? Like you know 1,000 times more than what you did, and you've already experienced just with Kendall and Monty and the other guy. Like wow, just think about that. Like how much you've learned and what you've accomplished already. So how are
Mhm.
you feeling before the race? Like before you got there, just a few weeks before, what's going through your
Mhm.
mind?
I was I had made probably 15 different pace plans at this point. If that tells you how I was feeling. I was nervous, and I kept forgetting about that 22-mile long run, and so I was doubting myself. I
Mhm.
was forgetting that feeling of confidence. And I was, okay, we should make a 3:10 plan. Maybe we should make a 3:15 plan. Like, I was trying to figure out the A, B, and C goals. I knew that I was gonna have a good time, and that it was always in my mind that my C goal was going to be have fun, so that no matter
Yeah.
what happened in the race, I did my first marathon and I had fun and we're happy with that. So that was always in the back of my head, but I was nervous. I felt like I trained really hard and I could pull off something awesome. So I was putting a little bit of pressure on myself, but trying to at least keep it in perspective. And so Josh and I went to Sacramento pretty early. I think we went on Thursday. The race was on Sunday. My parents are there. My
Oh.
grandparents are there. So we had some family time. But the night before the race, we went out to dinner with my parents, and I just was a mess. I could not eat, which was really horrible. I really should have eaten. That probably would
Mhm.
have helped during the race. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. It was that morning I was looking for my sleep score on my watch, and it just said no sleep detected. I was like, oh, I didn't
You
think it
didn't
was
sleep at all.
not at all. I was like, I thought that I at least rested, but I don't think I ever actually fell asleep. I was really
Well,
nervous, scared I was gonna miss my alarm, like all of those stupid little things that
do you
go
ever
on.
miss your alarm in general?
There was one time for one of my long runs during this training block that my alarm did not go off, and I was supposed to go run with friends, and I ended up really late and, met them like in the middle of their run.
So, I mean,
I
is
was
that what
thinking
you're
that,
thinking? That's
yeah,
probably what you're thinking about. Oh, it did happen. And okay. All right. Well, didn't get off to a good start,
mhm,
from a night before, but your
yeah.
grandpa was there, right? Your family was there, so they were
Yeah.
all there to support you. So that was exciting. Josh was there. So tell me, like, all right, you wake up, you're already woken up, I guess, but alarm goes off and you're like, okay, it's time to go.
I was up. I was ready to go.
You're all dressed. What do I do now?
Yeah, I did kind of the morning routine that I had practiced. I
Yeah.
tried to do that for my major long runs, my 21 and 22, just so I had kind of an idea of how I wanted the morning to go. Had everything laid out. Josh drove me to the buses. You have to only, bus to the start line. He drove me to the buses, got dropped off. The bus that I was in, so I'll back up a second. Everything that I had heard was stay on the bus when you get
Yeah.
there. The buses stay on the bus. And I was like, okay, great. My bus was one of the earlier ones. And I guess from the location that I had gotten picked up, those buses were going back to pick up
Hmm.
more. So we got there at, I mean, I think it was probably like 5:30. The race started at 7. We got there at 5:30 and they said, get off a bus. I was like, "Oh no, it is really, really cold and it's raining." And so I sat on the bus. I let everybody get off the bus first before I got off to give myself just a little bit more warmth.
Smart.
And then we walked like really far to get to where the start was. I was like, "What is going on?" So I was already thrown off from kind of the mental plan that I had that I had heard from all of the other. I've listened to a bunch of podcasts about
Hmm.
CIMs, all of these videos, and
Didn't pan out the way they thought.
everybody had said stay on the bus, and I was like, this is just throwing off my whole mental state. And so I was already kind of frazzled. I went to the bathroom and then I got on someone else's bus. There was buses there. And I
Oh, okay.
found a seat and just got on a bus. I was like, I'm gonna just sit here, warm up a little, stay out of the wet. It was
I like that.
misting. So I sat there for a while and then I had texted Kendall, but she was on a later bus, so I ended up not, meeting up with her at the start line. I got into the corral, stood right in front of the 3-hour pacer. I was like, okay, now we wait.
Good. All right. So did you carry, like, how many gels did you have with you? Like, were you ready? I mean, were you kind of from that
Yeah,
standpoint? Okay.
yeah. I had I think I carried 7 or 8 gels with me, knowing that I
Wow.
wasn't going to be able to consume all of those. I was like, what if I drop one?
Yeah.
Want to have backup or something. I'm nervous like that, so I have to have backups and things like that. I had one gel that I was planning on having on the start line right before the start, and then I had the rest in my pockets. And I wish looking back that I carried a water. That was one thing that
Oh,
I
you
was
didn't carry one? Really?
not carrying water. I'd
Okay.
never, all the, halves and stuff that I'd done, I'd never carried a water. I'd always been fine picking up a cup, but it was a lot more packed than I expected. It was really, really hard to get to the tables, and my hands were so cold, I missed half the cups. I did have the plan at least to attempt at least to grab a cup from every single water stop. Whether I
Yeah.
just had a sip or not, to at least grab a cup. I'm really glad I did. I'm really glad I went in with that plan because I did miss a lot of cups, spilled most of the cups on myself because
Mhm.
my hands were so cold I couldn't pinch the cup. It was
Wow.
so that part of the race did
Do you
not.
think you like if you would have wore some light gloves that would have helped or something?
Prob-
Or yeah,
Probably.
because
But I
a lot of people will carry just throwaway gloves, right?
yeah.
Like,
And
and then
I had brought them a pair of
okay.
gloves with me to California, but I'd, done my shakeout run the morning before and the weather was really similar. And I was
Mhm.
like, I don't think I need that. So I didn't do that. Hindsight, of course, is better, but I should have
Yeah,
brought them. Should have brought a water. These are just things that I learned, not things that I would change. I'm glad that I learned them the hard way because now I won't make that mistake in the future.
yeah. That's the only way you're gonna learn. I mean, that's just life in general, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna learn the hard way, and either you do it again or you don't. But you shouldn't.
Yeah, so Cal
Um,
Poly, my undergrad, their like slogan is learn by doing. And I feel
yeah,
like I do that with everything. I learn by doing,
yeah.
which in my mind is learn the hard way.
Same. I'm the same way. People can tell me a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, a lot of times they're right, but
Yeah.
um, all right. So you get with the 3 hour pacer. Did you see anybody you knew, or 'cause you didn't really know many people? I mean, a lot of people from Dallas was there.
There was a lot of fast people, so they were
Yeah,
starting way in front of me. But I started right in front of the 3 hour group and kind of ran with and around them. But the group was so massive, the 3 hour
yeah.
pace group, that it made it even harder to get water. So I tried to stay at least a few steps ahead of the 3 hour pace group. I saw, at least spectating, a lot of people that I knew. I
Oh,
saw Josh 5 or 6 times. And I saw my parents, my grandparents, mile 4 and 13 in the finish.
how did
Um,
that make you feel, by the way?
it's
Did it
awesome.
inspire you a bit whenever you saw them and you're like, all right, they're here
It,
for me. I can't believe it, that kind of
it
stuff.
definitely gave me a little boost. It was really cold out. I was like, I know it's not a fun day to be outside, but they had bells on. Were so excited to see me every time that I passed them. I made it to the side. I could give my mom a high five.
It's
So
awesome.
that was super cool. And then around, I want to say mile 9 or 10, Kendall came up behind me. She goes, Juliet, it's Kendall. I'm running behind you.
Wow.
Great. So we ran together from then until maybe around 15. Felt just like a long run. Kind of, I was a step ahead of her. She was a half step ahead of me, kind of pacing each other. Ran together till around 15, where I went to get a water stop. Kendall was carrying water. Smart girl. I went to a water stop to get a cup, and she pulled away from me a little bit as I made it back. And I didn't want to speed up to get back to her, so I just kind of fell into back into my comfortable pace, and she kept pulling away, which I knew was her plan from halfway to kind of start taking off the pace. And
Yeah.
so let her go. I was a good way in front of the 3 hour pacer at this point. So I was comfortable. And I mean, up to this point, up till really about, 17 or 18, I was very comfortable.
Okay.
I was having a good time. Legs felt great. I felt fresh. But it was around 17 or 18. I remember seeing Josh, and he had like parked and backtracked on the course. And so he ran like a quarter mile with me. He's like, how are you doing? I was like, this is starting to get kind of challenging. I think it's kind of
Hmm.
hard now. I hadn't hit a wall or anything yet, but it wasn't horrible because I knew that in a lot of my workouts I'd hit that point a lot earlier. So I
Yeah.
felt like hitting it 17 or 18 was okay. I took the front half of the race probably slower than I needed to, but everybody says to do that, to feel really, really comfortable and really
Yeah.
easy. I kept my heart rate under 145. Like I was good, was comfortable. But that point at 17 or 18, I think a little bit started to get in my head. I was like, oh no, I'm not feeling great, and kind of starting to psych myself out a bit.
Now it's all here, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
know, in general.
Um, And then I think 18 or 19, I took my last gel. I couldn't get any more down after that. There was some dry heaving to get that one down. So I was like, I don't want to throw up the rest of the gels that I have, so I don't
Yeah.
know if I can even try to have another. I was still they had the electrolyte and carb water. It wasn't just electrolyte water, it also had carbs in it. So I was grabbing that then only at
Okay.
the aid station, so I at least got a little bit of carbs in me, but I couldn't get any more gels down. You cross this last bridge, the J Street Bridge. It's at mile 21, 20 or 21. And that's kind of the last hill to cross that bridge, and then it's flat the rest of the way.
Okay.
Uh, so I was going up that hill to cross the bridge, and just had no more turnover. I was
Oh,
still a ways ahead of the 3 hour pacer. I kind of did a look behind me and could not couldn't even see them. And it's a very straight course. You can see a pretty far ways. And the
yeah.
group was massive. You couldn't miss the 3 hour group. So I did a quick look. I was like, okay, like we have some time. You don't need to barrel up this hill. Made it up the hill. Pace was still okay. I was still, on target to break 3. And then around maybe about 23 or 24 was when just everything locked up. Everything got
No.
super, super tight. And at that point, I was like, we're just running now. We're just doing what
Yeah.
we can. It's like, as long as I don't walk, I'm going to run into the finish. And
Yeah.
that's all we want at this point. I just want to run through the finish line. And at mile 25, I think the 3 hour pacer passed
Hmm.
me. And at that point, I was like, okay, we're not even looking at our watch anymore. We are just getting through this. We're looking at the spectators. We're trying to just have a good time this last mile. We're just doing our best. I wasn't trying to chase them down by any means. The legs were doing the maximum that they could do.
All you could do at that day. Yeah.
And there's these last two turns at the end of the race. It's usually a left and a left, but they changed it this year, so it was a left and a right. And at that left, Josh was on the corner. I remember seeing him, and for like one little second, I was like, he knows that the 3 hour passed me. But then I saw the look on his face, and I could see that he was so proud that I made it to there. And I was like, okay,
Of course
we're
he
gonna let
was.
it in, of course. And so I
I'm proud of you. Like, how could Josh not be proud of you? He's been living this for a while, you know?
out of me.
So,
And then my parents and my grandparents and my sister were like on the finish line. There's all these bleachers and the crowd of people. My dad
yeah.
wore this insane huge polka dot hat so that I could see them every time. And I saw him
Yeah.
decide. I didn't even need to. He's very loud. I saw them and I kind of had tunnel vision. I saw them. I couldn't even smile. It was just we just got to get there
Gotta finish.
without falling or starting to walk or something. I just want to run through that finish line.
Yeah.
And I did, and I felt great. I don't feel like I missed my goal. The sub 3 was the A goal, the reach goal. I knew it was a
Sure.
reach goal. I think my B goal was probably like a 305, was kind of 304, 305 was the B goal. So I'm
You hit an A minus goal.
thrilled. I'm thrilled with the outcome of the race.
Did you get emotional at all? Because I remember one time I started crying after a marathon. And I was like, I'm never doing that shit again.
I thought that I would more because
Yeah.
the last week of training, the last 2 weeks really, I was very emotional. I
Okay.
like my last long run, I got emotional at the end. I'm like, this is the last long run because the training, I mean, was so much of it. I think I looked and of my training block, I ran almost 800 miles. And so I'm thinking back and I'm like,
Damn.
it seems so big. Like the race is only 26 miles, but I did this other really big thing, which to me
Mm.
the training block is kind of the bigger accomplishment is making it through that and staying consistent and making my times in my workouts and stuff like that. And so I ran with my dog a lot. And my last run before we left for California that I ran with my dog, it was emotional. My last training run with my dog, every little bit.
That's great.
But I crossed the finish line and I mean I could barely get my legs to walk because I had
Mhm.
just been my legs were so tight and I had just been running for 3 hours. So I was just trying to make it out. And they had us walk for like a mile before I could meet up with my family. It felt like that. I know it wasn't, but because I was walking so slowly. But I wasn't really emotional until I got to my family and I saw the look on my grandpa's face and my family
Mm.
all being there smiling at me. And then it really felt like I did this thing. They were here. I feel so supported, so grateful.
I mean, did they want to hug you after stinking so bad?
I was very damp just because
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
so
okay.
outside and
Looking
I
up.
had spilled every water cup on myself. So I was really quite soaked.
Yeah.
And it was really cold. And I think because I ran the last 2 miles, I think I was down to like an 8 minute pace the last
Mm.
mile or so, 8 or 9 minute pace the last mile or so.
Really?
My heart rate got so low that I don't think I was producing a lot of body heat. Even
Mm.
just when I crossed the finish line, my lips were already blue. So my family
Wow.
was like, "Oh, we're so happy to see you. What's wrong? Why are your lips blue?" They're like trying to put pants on me and put
Yeah.
sweatshirts on me because I was so uncomfortable. It was full body shaking, which is something I had
That's
experienced
crazy
before.
that it got that cold for you,
Hmm.
during the marathon. I mean, usually you warm up eventually, like it's not like it was like 30 degrees or anything, right?
During No, it was high 40s. It was nothing crazy. And
I guess
I
wet
was
though and kind
yeah.
of cold. 40s
During
is not hot,
during the
but
race itself, I was fine. Like my hands were
okay.
cold, but it wasn't really till I crossed the finish line that I realized, oh wow, I'm like really cold.
Yeah. Maybe you were dehydrated and stuff like that too,
There was probably a lot of reasons why, but yeah.
Yeah. Wow, what a great story. You battled the cold, or your body did,
Yeah.
in a way. You pushed through it and fought through it at the end. And the training was how many miles did you get in a week, like at the max? What was your max kind of?
I got up to 60 miles a week.
Okay.
So during the training cycle, I hit like my first over 40-mile week, my first 50-mile week, my first 60-mile week,
Yeah.
just in the 20-week training.
How'd your body do for that?
So oh, we can get back to the calf problem. I ended up
Yeah.
going to physical therapy
Mm.
because I just could not kick it on my own, and went to Greg over at ATI on Audelia. If anyone needs a PT, he's fantastic, and he really got me back in shape. Until then, I had never done any strength training. It was one of the puzzle pieces that I definitely needed before that training cycle, and was able to strength train throughout the whole 20 weeks, which
That's
I don't
great.
know how it would have turned out if I didn't do that.
I think strength, if you can learn how to strength train, especially at your age, and run, I think that, the sky's the limit for you. All right. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Like,
Mm.
so you get done with the marathon. What'd you do afterwards? Did you go like hang out? Did you go sleep, take a shower? I mean, obviously, went to go take a shower, get warm and
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff, right?
yeah. So the plan was to go right to a brewery because I was sober for the last couple months of
Yeah.
training,
Smart.
which definitely helped me, at least like my
100%.
sleep and my recovery.
What did Josh think about that? You know? Just-
I
That's,
still went out.
yeah.
I just didn't drink, which was fine. It didn't really
Yeah.
impact my lifestyle very much. Just made my bar tab a lot cheaper. That's
Yeah.
pretty much the only difference. And my sleep was better. My body felt a lot better.
I drank 2 beers the other day, and that morning I couldn't sleep at night because of just drinking two
Yeah.
beers. Because I loved, and I felt like shit that whole night. Like, and I'm thinking, man, there's no reason for me to even drink beers anymore. This sucks. Well,
Yeah.
I'm getting older though. Anyways,
Yes, the plan was to go to the brewery, but I was so uncomfortably cold that I was like, I
yeah,
actually need to shower now, take a really, really hot shower and just get warm. And Josh and I were staying in my hometown in El Dorado Hills, which is just north of Folsom where the race starts. So we
yeah.
had like a 30-plus minute drive back
Mm.
there. I took a shower, passed out, slept for 2 or 3 hours because I didn't sleep the night before.
Got it.
I was exhausted.
That's probably part of the problem, to be honest.
Yeah, the lack of sleep. And so then I still had not eaten anything the whole day when I woke up by like 4
Jeez.
p.m. And so we had planned a little bar crawl I put that in quotes, bar crawl in town center El Dorado Hills. There are no bars. There's not really a lot in going on. We started at one restaurant. I got some food in me, got a couple drinks, went to one other bar, got a couple drinks, and then went to a third bar. That was the crawl because that
Yeah.
was all the bars that there was to choose from. But it was
Now, did your
great.
family go with you, or was it just you and Josh doing this?
It was just me and Josh, which
Okay.
was nice. It was chill. Got to
Yeah.
let loose and drink. Maybe I would have drank less if my mom was there. Actually, probably not. My mom probably would have helped me drink more.
She's a
She
good
encouraged.
influence.
She is a very good influence.
That's
Um,
good.
and we
I mean,
stayed
she
out
buys you the shoes.
to the shoes.
You gotta.
Out till the bars closed, which in my small town is 9 p.m. So
Mm.
we stayed out till 9, and then I slept fantastic that night. And a funny story, we were staying at a hotel in town center, so we just walked back to our hotel, but the elevator was broken.
Yeah.
We were
Oh,
on the
you
third
have to go up
floor.
the stairs.
We
Oh
were on the
man.
third floor. And so at least that night we drank enough that I made it upstairs just fine. But we were staying in town until Tuesday. And so until we left, it was very difficult to make it up and down that stairs.
Down is rough. Like, I mean, going up is hard, but going down when
It
your
was fun.
legs feel like that,
Yeah.
go do a downhill marathon or a half marathon
That was
and
fun.
bust your ass and see what it feels like just to walk. It's insane. But
Yeah.
well, hey, really awesome marathon. First marathon at the age of 25, and you got a 3:01:57, which is amazing. It's unheard of.
Thank you.
What's next? What are you thinking?
I'm still working on that, at least in terms of the next marathon. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Nothing is planned, at least in 2026. Obviously, I qualified for Boston 2027, so
Yeah.
I think I'll run that. But in terms of 2026, maybe a spring marathon, or maybe I'll
Oh,
do a a winter marathon again. But at least what I have planned right now, I'm gonna do Big Star half again this April. It'll be my third year
Okay.
running it, and they're doing an elite field this year, which I got to be a part of. So I'm really excited for that. I
Sweet.
actually PR'd my half during CIM. In the middle of CIM, I ran a 1:28 something. So I'm planning on making a crazy goal to run for Big Star, use what I learned training for CIM and try and pull
Yeah.
off some
You're gonna
crazy.
kill it. What's your crazy big goal? Are you gonna say it?
I think I'm gonna try at least
Just,
for like 123, 125 is kind of the range.
I
I'm
was thinking 122, but
I mean, who knows? We'll see. We'll see how training goes. I've already made I think like a 12-week program. So I think I'll be able to gain a lot of fitness in 12 weeks.
are you gonna allow yourself to rest a little bit for the next
Yeah.
several
Yeah.
weeks
I
at
ran
least?
I ran 20 miles last week,
Oh,
but
overall. Okay, got it.
yeah, last week. Total
Got it.
last week,
Yeah.
I ran 20 miles, and it was mostly just going to all the holiday lights runs with
Yeah.
all the run clubs. So yeah, that was fun. Probably gonna take the week of Christmas off completely and just enjoy some time off, soak in
Yeah.
the training cycle and the race itself.
That's awesome. Do you so when you kind of start thinking about your next marathon at some point, you don't know what it is, do you think you'll find some people to run with or run with kind of a group of
Mm.
people? Do you like to think about doing these solo kind of thing?
I definitely like to run with other people. It
Yeah.
makes it a lot easier. I'm still struggling finding the balance of I want to do my workouts. I've made my workouts. I like my workouts. I've collected workouts that I've either done with other people or that I've created myself that I really like, that I feel like are really beneficial to me. And so trying to find either people that I can convince to do my workouts with me, at least running as many easy miles as I can
Yeah.
with friends. That's really important to me. There's so many run clubs. You can find a run club any night of the week
Easily.
to run with. And so I was able to do that a lot during the training cycle, and I'm going to continue to do that with White Rock and TNSR up in Plano. And I know there's a few others. I just moved up here to Plano, so opens up even more groups that I can run with. It's
Awesome.
good place to be. I'm looking forward to the future. I have some big goals maybe in the next 3 to 5 years. There's definitely a lot of growth to happen.
A lot of growth. And, I'll be watching,
Mhm.
that's really one of the big reasons I wanted you on the podcast was, I was thinking about this is there's a lot of young women specifically, running really fast times. And you think about a 301 or
Mhm.
under 305, your first marathon, the
Yeah.
sky's the limit for you. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know, nobody knows, even you don't know what that is,
Yeah.
but it's the potential is huge. And
Mhm.
so, I'll be watching. And so is there anything that I missed that you would say, Chris, we should have talked about this thing during the podcast?
I mean, I don't think so. I've listened to a lot of your podcasts in the past. I've picked and choose, people that maybe I've seen and I've run with, and
Yeah.
you always ask this question at the end. And so I was thinking, I was thinking about it before. And so I guess to sign off on kind of a funny note, if my piece of advice, if Josh ever approaches you asking to be your run coach, run in the other direction. That's how you end up
Hell yeah.
injured. Say no. That's it. Yeah.
I like it. That's probably the best one yet.
We need 50 miles. It's important. It's very important.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to another DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Gutzel, and don't forget to rate and review us. That's very important. Juliette, don't forget to rate and review the podcast, whatever podcast you go to. Also, subscribe to our newsletter at dfwrunningtalk.substack.com. Juliette, thanks so much.
Thanks, Chris.